Picture this. You're at Target, your card gets declined for a $47 purchase, and you feel your face go hot. Your hands are shaking as you fumble for a different card, muttering something about fraud protection to the cashier, who clearly doesn't believe you. That sinking feeling in your stomach, that's not just embarrassment. That's your amygdala literally firing off the same signals it would if you were being chased by something that wanted to eat you. Your brain thinks you're dying, and in a weird way, it's not entirely wrong. There's a specific dollar amount where that feeling just stops, where your nervous system finally chills out and stops treating every unexpected expense like a survival threat. It's not $1 million, it's not even six figures, it's $20,000. And what happens at that threshold is so much weirder and more powerful than just having money in the bank. My name is Megan. I'm an accountant, and here I share smart financial tips that anyone can implement today. If you've ever felt that 3 a.m. panic about money and you want to understand exactly how much you need to make it stop, make sure to subscribe. And honestly, hit that like button if you've ever had that Target moment, because I know I'm not alone here. Now, before we dive into why $20,000 specifically, let me paint you a picture of what most people's financial lives actually look like. You're doing mental math at the grocery store, putting back the name brand cream cheese because the generic is $2.17 cheaper. You're declining dinner with friends because the restaurant they picked has entrees that start at $28, and you know you can't swing it this week. You check your bank account balance at 11 p.m. before you go to sleep, and again at 6 a.m. when you wake up. Like somehow money might have magically appeared overnight. Your check engine light has been on for 7 months. You know exactly what it is. You just don't have $1,200 to fix it right now. And here's the thing that makes it so exhausting. It's not even about being broke. You might make $65,000 a year. You might have a good job, pay your bills on time, even have a 401k. But you're still living in what I call financial fight or flight mode every single day. Your brain is constantly scanning for threats, calculating risks, running worst-case scenarios. It's like trying to concentrate on your work while someone stands behind you threatening to slap you. You can technically function, but you're using so much mental energy just staying alert that you have nothing left over for actually getting ahead. Here's what actually happens when you cross the $20,000 threshold. And I'm not making this up. There's actual neuroscience research on this from Princeton and Purdue that shows financial stress literally rewires your prefrontal cortex. Below a certain savings threshold, your brain is stuck in survival mode. Above it, you unlock what researchers call cognitive bandwidth, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain finally has enough space to think about something other than not dying. But here's where it gets really interesting. $20,000 is not arbitrary. It's roughly 6 months of expenses for the median American household. And 6 months turns out to be the exact amount of time your nervous system needs to believe you're actually safe. Anything less, and your amygdala is still ready to panic. Anything more starts to have diminishing returns on your stress levels. It's the Goldilocks number. Let me show you exactly how this works with two people making the exact same salary. Person A has $2,400 in savings. Person B has $22,000. They both make $70,000 a year. They both get the same annual review. They both have the same skills and experience. But here's what's different. When person A's boss asks them to work late again, unpaid, to cover for someone who quit, to accept a project that's technically not their job, person A says yes, because person A is terrified. When person B's boss asks the same thing, person B looks at them, takes a breath, and says, "I'm going to need to discuss compensation for that additional responsibility." Same person, same job, same request, completely different response. The only variable is $20,000 in a savings account. This is what I call walking away money, and it changes everything about how you show up at work. You negotiate harder because you're not negotiating from a place of desperation. You set boundaries because you can afford to be fired for having boundaries. You take smart risks because the worst case scenario isn't homelessness. It's dipping into savings for a few months while you find something better. I've read 37 finance books in the past 2 years, and this concept, this idea that money doesn't just buy things, it buys courage, is the one that completely changed how I thought about saving. Now, you might be thinking, $20,000 sounds impossible if you're barely saving $200 a month, and I get it. But here's the part that will blow your mind. The first $5,000 is brutal, legitimately the hardest money you will ever save, because you're fighting your own biology. Your brain is screaming that you need that money for immediate threats. It wants you to spend it on the insurance deductible, the worn-out tires, the slightly nicer apartment that would make you feel less stressed. Getting to $5,000 takes the average person about 31 months if they're saving $200 a month, and it feels like pushing a boulder uphill in the rain. But something remarkable happens after $5,000. Your brain starts to relax. Not all the way, but enough that you stop making stress-based money decisions. Enough that you don't panic buy the extended warranty or overnight a replacement phone when yours cracks. Those little fear-based purchases that were costing you $100 here, $200 there, they start to disappear. And suddenly, you're not saving $200 a month anymore. You're saving $350. Then $425, not because you got a raise, because you stopped hemorrhaging money to anxiety. The second $5,000 takes about 14 months, less than half the time. The next $10,000 takes about 22 months total. You're watching this number accelerate, and it's not magic. It's compound psychology working alongside compound interest. Every dollar saved makes the next dollar easier to save because your nervous system is slowly realizing you might actually be okay. And here's the kicker. Once you hit $20,000, you start making different decisions about everything. That job offer in a new city that you would have been too scared to take, you take it. That side business idea you've been thinking about for 3 years, you finally launch it because you have a cushion. You leave the toxic relationship you've been staying in partially because of shared rent. You go to the dentist for the first time in 6 years because you're not terrified of what they might find. Let me give you a specific example. Someone earning $55,000 a year with $1,800 in savings gets offered a new job making $72,000. $17,000 raise, life-changing money. But the new job is a 40-minute commute instead of 15 minutes. It's in a slightly higher cost of living area, and there's a 3-month probation period. They turn it down. Too risky. They can't afford to be wrong. That same person with $20,000 in the bank, they take the job. They know they're covered even if it doesn't work out. The money in the bank didn't just give them options, it gave them the psychological safety to take the option that would actually change their financial trajectory. This is what most people completely miss about emergency funds. They think it's about car repairs and medical bills, and sure, that's part of it. But the real value is that it rewires how you think about risk and opportunity. When you have $872 in savings, every financial decision is made from a place of fear. When you have $20,000, you're making decisions from a place of strategy. You're not just surviving, you're actually building something. But here's where most people mess this up, and I see it constantly. They hit $20,000 and immediately think, I made it. I deserve a reward. They buy a $6,000 vacation. They finance a $35,000 car they've been wanting. They move to a nicer apartment that costs $400 more per month. And within 8 months, they're back to $8,000 in savings, and that crushing anxiety comes flooding back. It's like finally getting in shape and celebrating by eating fast food for a month straight. The $20,000 isn't the finish line, it's the foundation. It's the first level of financial security that lets you start building actual wealth. Because here's what happens next. With that foundation in place, you can actually invest. You can put money in index funds without panic selling the first time the market drops 8%. You can max out your Roth IRA. You can invest in yourself, certifications, education, starting a business, without the crippling fear that it might not work out. The data on this is actually insane. Vanguard did a study and found that investors with at least 6 months of expenses in cash savings were 47% less likely to sell during market downturns. They weren't smarter, they weren't more risk tolerant. They just had $20,000 in the bank that let them think clearly instead of panicking. That difference over 30 years of investing is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The emergency fund doesn't just protect you from emergencies, it protects you from yourself. And this is something that will probably surprise you. The confidence you get from $20,000 in savings shows up in ways that have nothing to do with money. People report sleeping better, having better relationships because they're not constantly stressed and irritable, performing better at work because they're not distracted by financial anxiety, taking better care of their health because they can afford to see a doctor without spiraling. It's like the entire operating system of your life runs smoother when your brain isn't constantly in survival mode. Think about it like this. Your brain has a certain amount of processing power. When $15,000 of your mental RAM is dedicated to running financial disaster scenarios, you have almost nothing left over for creativity, strategic thinking, relationship building, or long-term planning. You're functionally operating on a 2007 laptop trying to run modern software. The $20,000 doesn't give you more processing power. It just frees up what you already have. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. Getting to $20,000 requires you to become a completely different person. Not in some motivational poster kind of way. Literally, you have to develop the ability to delay gratification in a world designed to make you spend impulsively. You have to resist lifestyle inflation when everyone around you is upgrading. You have to sit with discomfort instead of shopping it away. You have to say no to things you want over and over and over until saying no becomes your default instead of your willpower. That's not just saving money, that's rewiring your entire personality. And here's what's wild. Once you've done that rewiring to get to $20,000, getting to $50,000 is almost automatic because you've already become the person who can save. You've already built the habits. You've already developed the identity of someone who prioritizes future security over immediate pleasure. The hard part isn't the math, it's the metamorphosis. The first $20,000 is your chrysalis phase. What comes after is just momentum. But stick with me here because there's one more thing you need to understand. The $20,000 rule only works if you actually protect it. This money is not for investing. It's not for house down payments. It's definitely not for buying a truck because you finally feel financially stable enough to make the payments. This money sits in a high-yield savings account earning 4% or whatever the rate is, and it does nothing except exist. It's boring, it's unsexy, it's not growing your wealth, and that's exactly the point. The emergency fund is like a fire extinguisher. You don't buy a fire extinguisher hoping to use it. You don't buy it because it's going to appreciate in value. You buy it so that when something catches fire, you don't lose everything. Your emergency fund is financial insurance against your own panic, against making catastrophic decisions under stress, against being forced into terrible options because you have no other choice. The return on investment isn't the interest rate, it's every bad decision you don't make because you have options. I spend an embarrassing amount of time thinking about this stuff, and here's what I keep coming back to. We live in a world that's constantly trying to convince you that you need more. A bigger house, a newer car, a better phone, a vacation to Bali, a wardrobe refresh, a kitchen remodel, and all of that stuff might be nice. But you know what's better than all of it? The feeling of looking at an unexpected $3,500 expense and thinking, okay, that's annoying, instead of, my life is over. That's what $20,000 in the bank buys you, not things, peace. Your future self is either going to thank you or resent you based on what you do in the next 2 years. If you start now, if you automate $200 or $300 or $500 a month into savings and you don't touch it no matter what, you'll hit $20,000 faster than you think. And on the other side of that threshold is a version of you that walks differently, talks differently, thinks differently. A version of you that doesn't flinch when the check engine light comes on, that doesn't panic when the boss calls you into their office, that doesn't feel trapped by your own bank account. The $20,000 isn't just money, it's the bridge between the life you're surviving and the life you're building. Cross it.